Hello, everyone. My name is Tawana Brown. I'm the Assistant Director in Parent and Family Programs, and we are so happy to have you join us for our UA 26 webinar series. Today, we have the Scholarship Office who is going to share a little bit about scholarships. And so, Jasmine, I'll turn it over to you.
All right, sounds good. So, about to share my screen. Hopefully, I have all this up. All right, so hello everyone. Again, my name is Jasmine A. McGuire. I am a scholarship coordinator here at the University of Alabama. So today we're just going to be presenting on some scholarships. Yes, it says freshman scholarships, but these could be all the tips and tricks that I'm going to give out today can be applied for sophomore, junior, or seniors. So if y'all, of course, have any questions, just let our office know so we can just go ahead and dive right on in. So the first thing that we do have, we have financial aid, competitive scholarships, automatic merit scholarships, program scholarships, and then the timeline. That is what we're going to be reviewing today. So the first thing first, you have your FAFSA, which, as you can see, stands for Free Application for Federal Student Aid. So that typically opens up October 1st of your senior year in high school. We do try to encourage all students to apply for the FAFSA, even if you do not feel like you need it. We definitely just recommend it just so that can be like your safe haven kind of in a way, just in case you do need it in the future. So we do just recommend it. Now, scholarships, typically you don't have to apply for the FAFSA. Some of them do, but the ones that are through our office, you do not have to. And of course, we'll let you know if you do, but typically you do not. So usually with the FAFSA, we do what am I trying to say? The priority date, there we go, is December 1st, as you can see on the slide. We do want all students to at least have that in. So just in case something was needed for those documentations or anything like that, your student has enough time to go ahead and get that done. Some things that financial aid can cover, of course, you have your grants, you have your loans, and then of course you have your work study. And of course, you can reach out to financial aid through their website. So as far as our office goes, that I'm a little bit more familiar with, we have our competitive scholarships. So with those competitive scholarships, as you can just see, we do award those through a holistic review process. Here we go. Review process. Basically, in a nutshell, it just means that not all of our students are going to be guaranteed that scholarship. However, your student is already going to be able to apply for these scholarships when they do apply for the university. So starting this year, and I'm pretty sure moving forward, the scholarship application will be involved with their admissions application. So your student is going to start seeing some of those additional questions at the end of that admissions application. One important note that I want to point out is that your student does have to be admitted into the university. So not just only applying for the university, but actually admitted by January 15th. We, again, just want to make sure that if your student needs anything else, we can have that effective time to reach out to them. So with this competitive scholarship, of course, we as our office, the scholarship office is, we do look into that for review. And also, we just want you to know that this application is going to be sent off to your student's department that their major is in, the Alumni Association, and this is also going to be in review for some endowed scholarships as well. And as you can see, some of the things that we do look for within that application. So your students' leadership, their volunteering, extracurricular, their honors, if your student works, any kind of special circumstances or needs, we just want to know all of that about your student. This one is not GPA based solely, so I want you to know that as well. So just some little tips, like I said, I was going to go over. We do want you to know that if you do need help within that application, there is a system in the application within itself that, of course, if you click it or you hover over it, it's going to let you know. It's going to give you a little bit more tips to that. Also, we just want you to be sure that you list all your stuff very descriptively. We want you to be as detailed as possible. Now, of course, there is a character count, but still, we want you to be as detailed as possible because we're not going to know your student just off their name and off their application. So we just want to make sure that they are very, very detailed. That makes it definitely easier to review, but of course, your student can put down however much or little they choose to do. One thing that we do also encourage is students start to fill out a resume. Now, this resume doesn't have to be your fancy resume or anything like that, but we just want the student to at least start getting an outline of what they've been doing in high school. So when it is time for them to apply for these scholarships, they can know exactly what they've been doing there all 4 years. And then, of course, we just encourage all our students to have someone trusted look over that application. So, they always say you want to have 2 sets of eyes, other eyes to look at your application. So we just want to make sure that we're checking for any kind of errors or any kind of mistakes, or even if the student has missed out on anything, we just want to make sure that their student is covered fully. Next is our automatic merit scholarships. Again, this scholarship is awarded through our office. Now, this particular scholarship is the criteria for this one, your student does have to have their test scores. So even though the University of Alabama is test optional, we cannot stress that enough. We want to make sure that their student is sitting in either their ACT scores or their SAT scores. And then, of course, we go off for the student's GPA. Of course, all that is going to be listed on our scholarships page, and it is listed towards the bottom of this slide. It's going to give you all the requirements. So it's going to give you the list of what your student needs for their test scores and, of course, that GPA. So we just want to make sure that you do look into that so you do know. So we also want you to pay attention to some of the timelines within this. The first one being is May 1st. So your student does have to be admitted into the university by January 15th for the competitive based scholarships. However, if your student decides to retest or anything like that, we are giving them until May 1st to send in those test scores and that GPA. So we just want to make sure that we're giving them enough time because we understand some students take it multiple times, some students don't. But again, we just want to make sure. One of the biggest things I want to point out is if you look at the 4th bullet on this slide, you will definitely see that it does say that you cannot stack the UA competitive scholarship and then the merit. Now, let's just say your student was awarded a merit scholarship, and then they're also were eligible to receive a UA competitive scholarship. Now, again, the UA competitive scholarship is through our office, not those departmental or alumni scholarships. Now, you cannot stack those. So with that being said, is we're going to go off the higher monetary value of those scholarships. If your student was eligible to receive both of those scholarships, we're going to pick the highest one. So we're going to replace the other one if they are eligible for both of those. So I want to point that out as well. And so we also do have our Alabama Advantage Scholarship. Now with this one, this is where the FAFSA would need to be completed. Like I said, a lot of our scholarships, you do not need the FAFSA, but this particular one you do. So we do encourage those students to, of course, apply as soon as they can. So by that October 1st date, leading into December 1st, we just want to make sure that everything is put in so your student can receive this if they, it's a need-based kind of scholarship, but we also just want to make sure that your student does have enough time. Of course, that first one is going to be make sure they're Alabama resident, of course. Again, you have to complete that FAFSA. And then, of course, just be full Pell Grant eligible and awarded by May 1st. So that's why we just want to make sure everything is covered from there. And so pretty much what this scholarship is pretty much like what we call is covering that gap that the student may have in their tuition. So of course, this scholarship is not going to cover fees, room and board, and books. It's just more so to cover that gap within their tuition. With this one, your student doesn't have to necessarily do anything but these steps. Of course, this can also be found on our scholarship page. It's going to give you a little bit more of a listing as far as that goes. So your student is pretty much automatically considered for this scholarship as long as they meet the criteria within this one. Next, we do have national recognition of scholarships. This one is relatively new. So with this one, as you can see, it does have a particular criteria to it. So this is going to be your student will have to be recognized through College Board as long as your student is African American, Hispanic, Indigenous, rural and small town recognition programs. So if your student fits within that criteria, then they can be eligible for this particular scholarship. And again, that is through College Board. What the student will have to do is, again, May 1st comes into dates. As long as they send in that certificate to our office by May 1st, then they can be awarded this particular scholarship. This is our packet right here. Of course, you have that value of tuition. So pretty much whatever tuition is that particular year, that's what it's going to be. It's going to cover that tuition. So for 4 years, so up to 8 semesters is going to be covered. You're also going to get a supplemental scholarship, and that's for 4 years as well. And that's going to be $1,000. And then your first year of undergrad on campus housing, that's also going to be covered within this packet. One thing that I do want to point out is if your student does decide that they want to join a fraternity or sorority, that's not included with our on-campus housing. So I do want to make sure I clarify that as well. So that scholarship won't cover that particular housing, but your student will actually have to live in one of the resident housing on campus. And then we have our National Merit Scholarships. We do offer 2 different types of packages when it comes to our National Merit Scholars. Of course, that is done through College Board again. However, like I said, we offer these packages. That first one is our semifinalist. Again, both of these just have to, of course, be admitted by May 1st. And give us all their information by May 1st. Now with the semifinalists, they will get the presidential scholarship. So if I'm not mistaken, that does cover tuition. And then our finalist packet is a little bit different from the previous one for our national recognition. As you can see, it's going to say tuition for up to 5 years. So essentially that's 10 semesters. You do have, you're going to have your housing covered as well. Again, you just can't live in any kind of Greek housing on campus. So it has to be on campus. Your student cannot use the scholarship off campus. We get that a lot. Even though their housing is getting covered, it has to be on campus. That's one thing I like to stress to any of my parents or students. It has to be on campus. We can't be flexible. We can't do anything like that as far as if your student wants to use that off campus, it has to be on campus. I cannot stress that enough. And also they do get a supplemental scholarship for 4 years. That's $3,500. And then you have your one-time $2,000 summer research and study abroad if they do choose to do that. We have a lot of students that go to the honors college. So of course, the honors college does offer certain programs, so they can use that as well. They just contact our office to let us know when they want to use that. And then of course you do get a book scholarship as well. All that was going to be laid out if your student is a national merit finalist. We're going to lay that all out within their packet. Your student's going to get either an email from us, and then they're also going to get a letter from home, sent home, there we go, detailing what they need to do. And then of course we have our timeline. As you can see, the one that I've been talking about this entire presentation is January 15th. You have to be admitted. I cannot stress that enough. A lot of parents or a lot of students have called or anything like that or reached out to us, and they'll say, hey, my student has applied. Well, we're happy that your student applied, but they have to be admitted. Even if they're admitted on that January 15th date, they have to be admitted to be considered for competitives. Cannot stress that enough. And then on top of that, because certain scholarships like the automatic merit or RUA competitive admissions application, since we are kind of on a rolling basis, your students could get notifications before this early March date, but I want to let you know that early March is when the student is going to get those consolidated scholarship offers. So this particular one is pretty much a letter that's going to be sent out, and it's going to give your students overall scholarship packet. So if your student has one of our automatic merit scholarships, if your student was to be able to get a departmental scholarship, an alumni, an endowed, it's going to be all within this letter. And then of course, vice versa, if your student was to get the competitive scholarship from our office, everything within this is going to be one lump sum. So I want you to know that as well. Financial aid does send out they send out their packet a little bit earlier than us. So of course I want to stress that too, that even if you do see financial aid and you're curious about why your student is not seeing their scholarships, typically your student is going to see every scholarship that they have been awarded through the University of Alabama in that scholarship, the consolidated scholarship offer. There we go. And of course, you have your May 1st. That is, of course, for the automatic merit scholarship, the national merit scholarship, and then, of course, the national recognition scholarship. This as long as they've been admitted by that date, we're good. And of course, you just have to make sure that you have all your FAFSA in as well. And of course, that pretty much ends our presentation. I know that was a lot of information. So of course, this is our contact information. We do have the scholarships email. We do have 2 scholarship coordinators, one being myself. And then we do have, we have 3 coordinators. And then of course, we have the rest of our staff as well, as far as our director and another coordinator. So technically 4 coordinators. So of course, you can reach out to any of us. You can reach out through the phone, you can reach out through email, whichever your preference. So just in case, like I said, I know it's a lot of information. So of course, if you weren't able to get everything, or if you're just curious of some of the stuff that I've already went over, just please reach out to us, because we want to be your first point of contact, so there's no confusion. And then of course, again, that is our website. You can find everything on there, but of course people can still get confused. Totally fine. This is why we're here. But we are open Monday through Friday from 8 until 4:45. Of course, if you want to set up any kind of visit or any kind of appointment, again, reach out through phone, email, however you choose, and just let us know. But other than that, that is it.
Thank you so much, Jasmine. So yeah, there we go. So I just had, you answered one of my questions, but if they did want to stop by, where are y'all located?
Yes, so we are in the Student Service Center. We are on the 2nd floor. So our actual You see, our actual office number is 203, if I'm not mistaken. Should be 203, but literally as soon as you come to the Student Service Center, literally right across from the Ferguson Center, that is where our office is located.
Awesome. Thank you. And then, so what information are y'all able to share with parents? So I know parents oftentimes probably call y'all and want to know a lot of their student information. How much information can you share with a parent or family member?
Yes, so we get that a lot. So even though we try to stay within the same realm of the FERPA, which of course, that's more so about academics, but we do want to make sure that the parent can at least give us some certain information. So, and then if it's really within depth, if they want to, like, if they were to call to say, "Hey, did my student get awarded?" I can tell you that as long as you, of course, have certain information that we ask for. But if it's more so like an in-depth kind of thing, we prefer that the student is on the phone with us as well. So we just don't just give out their information, because anybody can act like anybody on the phone, of course. So we just want to make sure that our students are also our top priority. That's really what it breaks down to. So if they call, we'll ask them some general questions. If they can answer it, we're good.
Yeah, I got you. So I guess a scenario when you probably wouldn't want to share something with a parent or family member that you would need the student is if a parent is calling to say, did my student lose their scholarships because they failed all of their classes? You know?
That's the situation. Those are kind of sticky situations, because we never want to be the bearer of bad news, but that's the situation where we're like, would you mind calling your students? Because we do have access to that. Of course, we see a lot of the stuff. I understand some students don't want to share that with their parents, but again, we don't also want the student not to be on the phone to give us that kind of, yes, you can go ahead and tell them and let them know. So
awesome. Well, Jasmine, thank you so much for joining us today. This was great information. And parents and family members, if you have any additional questions, as Jasmine said, you can reach out to their office, or if you have any questions during orientation when you bring your student, please feel free to call them, set up an appointment, and stop by, or just show your student where their office is, just in case they have questions when they come to campus. Once again, thank you for joining our UA 26 webinar, and please join us next week as we will have, or next month, as we will have another campus partner presenting to you all. And roll tide. Hope y'all have a great day. Thank you again.
Y'all have a good one.